I'm here today with Kellita Maloof, somebody really special, the owner of Showgirl Awakening. Can you say a little bit, just a sentence about it?
Absolutely. Well, I think I'm going to start with the definition of an awakening showgirl, as I mean it. An awakening showgirl is a woman or human who generously reveals her true radiant essence and thereby shows the way for her sisters or fellow humans.
Who reveals her true
Her
essence?
true radiant essence. And to break that down even more, mhm, and thereby shows the way for her sisters. But we can start with this one. Yeah. And the true radiant essence of a human, it's their soul. It's their soul embodied, the very essence of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Excellent. Yes. We've got it. Oh, I can't wait to see how this translates
Yeah.
through
And
you.
the reason I put it on this side of the template is
Uh-huh.
that, and now I explain how it works. This is the hero's journey, or just a transformation. On the left
Oh, I
side,
love it. I
on the
love
left side, we draw the person you work with, the people you
Yeah.
work with, or the women with their problems and whatever they have, why they come to you. And
Uh-huh.
on the right side is the transformed person.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
here we have the woman who reveals her true radiant essence. And so here we have to kind of define who it is,
Yeah. Yeah.
who you work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, who is
I
it?
I have the honor and privilege of working with women who are kind and highly sensitive and have a long history of overgiving of themselves and over editing their voice, whether it's their words or their expression through their clothing or whatever it is that they have edited and often shrunk themselves down into a smaller place than is actually healthy and good and right for their own body and soul to inhabit. So this overgiving and over editing and comes from really good reasons, which we might talk about here today.
Mm-hmm.
Overgiving and over editing and also over managing, taking on responsibility far beyond what really is theirs to hold or to tend.
Should we draw the possibility, the responsibility
Yeah, could be. Yes, they're over responsibiling.
in her hand?
Uh-huh.
Wait a second, how does it look to hold too much responsibility? I mean, she's also, maybe her shoulders are more up.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, I feel that. There's a running theme as you thank you for you're making me think of some words I don't always use. There's a running hypervigilance. There's a ready to respond to any kind of need that I think it carries even into the sleeping time, like ready to pop out of bed and help out with anything at any moment. So there's a, yeah. Mhm. Does anybody need help? Yes, and often these women find themselves in helping professions directly. Therapists, coaches. I work with a lot of therapists and coaches and all kinds of helping professionals.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to hold really beautiful space for other people, like excellent, like the kind of space within which someone can emerge as themselves. They can come to trust and love and know and express themselves with a true confidence and radiance. And these very same women, and it's so funny because I include myself in this
Mhm.
because I created the work that I needed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everything I'm saying here
Yeah.
has applied to and even continues to. It, you know, I am I am I am a human. I am a human. And actually what I love about this, I'm walking right alongside everyone that I work with.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe I've been on the path a little longer, but I'm completing the same journey. I'm on the same pathway. And I love that I just mentioned human because this work is about coming fully into our humanity and into our bodies with all the limitations and the messiness that that means. And embracing those limitations like, oh my gosh, I need to sleep and I need to eat and I need touch and I need relaxation, true relaxation. I'm still working on that one. Yeah, yeah. And when we really come into our bodies, not only do we know our limits and how beautiful it is. Am I going too fast, Ingrid, or is it good?
No, no, no. I'm just,
Wonderful. I'll just let you do, and you always feel free
yeah.
yeah, to slow down or not. But I love this. I love this because what you're drawing and my response to it, I feel the call and response between
Hmm.
us, and that's so beautiful.
Yeah. I'm jumping a little bit back and forth because
Yeah, it's
uh,
great.
here we were talking about problems, and now you're talking about what is happening through the transformation.
Yes, yes, and that probably will weave all around. So yeah.
Yeah. Until
Um,
we filled it up. So what are the like real world problems? She's helping and everybody else.
she's burning out. This is
Yeah.
one very real
Yeah. Yeah.
problem. And then her body's breaking down. She might have autoimmune illness or disease often. And in my opinion, and I am not a medical doctor, but in my opinion, that autoimmune illness, which the truth is, medical doctors do not know what the cause is. They will tell you that. They just give a lot of symptom quelling medicine. I really see the burnout and the autoimmune illness quite connected. It's that our very bodies are saying, no, our
Mm.
bodies are saying no, but it hasn't reached our cognition and our will in a way that we're able to actually stop yet. So our body is just stopping. And this was something true for me. Yes. So this is happening. And there's just a very, there's the pain. I don't know if you can call it's a real world problem in my understanding, but there's this pain of having not having been properly seen, not being properly seen, even by ourselves. Yeah, just not experiencing being seen or heard or understood. And chronically, not just, oh, occasionally, but pretty chronically, not being seen or heard or understood. And as I go into myself to feel what does that feel like, oh, it feels kind of like being like a weight on the heart, like the chest being tight and the neck or the throat being tightened, almost a little like strangled.
Hmm.
Tightness in the throat, heaviness in the heart, because there's so much of us that is not seen yet or understood, and it's kind of unbearable. It's really unbearable. The only way to bear it is to numb out or become frozen.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. The numb state, the frozen, the literally not in my body, spending more time than usual. All humans dissociate to some degree. We're not always 100% here, but my history and the history and or current experience of these women I work with is that they're living pretty far from their bodies. So yeah, really, it's a case of not being home because to be in the body with these experiences and to fully feel it is too painful. It's too painful. Yeah. Hmm. And also, it's not unusual that there has been either sexual abuse, not rare, and also relational trauma. This is a big one. Relational trauma, which which is different from event trauma.
Mm-hmm.
For the longest time, I was tracking my own event trauma. I'd had an instance of sexual violation as a adolescent. And I tracked for many, many years that was what I was healing from.
Mm-hmm.
It was not that long ago, deep, deep into the work that I was doing, that I came to understand what I had been primarily healing in myself and facilitating the healing of in the women I was working with in this way, which I realize I haven't said too much about yet, but we will. That'll be the middle picture, I suppose,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is I call it drip, drip trauma. Even just think about this visual, ooh, of the way an anesthesia would be administered. It's just one drip at a time, but those drips keep coming. And I say anesthesia on purpose because the drip, drip of this trauma keeps us anesthetized, keeps us numbed out and frozen so we don't feel. And also, it serves many, many purposes. And this is I would say, actually is the most insidious, even more than I call the event trauma boom, boom trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Something happens, like boom, there's an assault, or boom, the house burns down, or something happens. That's boom, boom trauma. Everyone, that's what people, for many, many years when we used the word trauma, until just a few years ago, when people said trauma, they were thinking about boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Now, more and more people are understanding about relational trauma, which I call drip, drip. And so thank goodness, because when we can name it, we can work with it a little more directly
Mm-hmm.
and on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
this drip, drip. But the drip, drip has kept us, it's kept us, the numbing out has kept us safe, not just safe from feeling, but safe from if we fully express ourselves. And I will use the example of, I'm going to say mother and child, whoever is the primary caregiver. Could be grandmother, it could be someone else, but I'll just use for simplicity mother and child. So when we are very tiny, when we are just little babies, let's say for example, because all of this is passed down through generations. It's not just from what's happened in our life itself. Let's say that we smile as a little baby. We give our mother a big grin, and she gives us a medium grin back. Not it's smaller than our big smile. We are learning then. We're taking this as really important information, that to smile that big is not going to be mirrored back to us, and we're desperate for that mirror. And all our whole life, all we ever want, all any human is ever looking for, is a good mirror. We're looking for a good mirror, and it starts in infancy. So mom doesn't smile as big, so we start to reduce our smile so we can mirror her. And the same thing can happen with anger. Let's say that we're upset, and that upset is not welcomed. And the way that it's a little harder to describe, it's easier with the smile, but we can just tell that when we express our anger in a certain way, it's absolutely not okay. And there is not empathy, and it actually gets us, we lose belonging. We lose belonging from this anger. So we start to not express it. Does it mean we don't feel anger? Absolutely not. We feel it. It starts to already go in, and it just maybe inflames our tissues but doesn't come out through our face or our voice. It gets sublimated. It goes in a different direction. So these are just different ways that we learn that it's not safe to be our whole self. Or maybe we want to wear maybe we want to wear really fanciful clothing that is not at all like what our neighbors or our schoolmates are wearing. And it can be perhaps it's fine with the family, but then we get to school wearing the, I don't know, I'm seeing very bright orange or yellow, like maybe fruits on the, or it might be whatever it is. It's just something, it's just different. And we're experiencing, oh, when I wear that, I feel really separate from everyone. I don't get the warm welcome that any and every human desires, whether they're willing to admit it. So all these different ways that any way that it's not safe to be ourselves, we're learning. Okay, adjust in this way, adjust in that way, until we've adjusted so far that there's very little of us left. And then we deeply miss ourselves. So the loneliness is really for ourselves. We miss ourselves.
Okay. Here I have the situations
Yeah,
that lead to,
yeah.
don't know where to put it yet.
Also, when I say things, when I tell the truth about what I see, and I don't know if we need another picture, but when I speak the truth in my family, at school, wherever it is, and then later in the workplace, it just gets reinforced and reinforced. When I tell the truth, I get fired or demoted, or I lose friends. So we stop telling the truth more. More separation from ourselves. So then we're left not feeling our full feelings and not trusting, for very good reason, because we know, because we experienced it, or our mother experienced it. This is where the generational happens. All the healing that didn't happen in the generation before us and before them, it just gets passed down until it's healed. So some of what we're healing is the wounds of our grandmothers and our grandfathers and beyond and back. Because we inherit through the relational, generational and relational pathways, we inherit the beliefs, literally. And epigenetics is now a wing of science that is beginning to articulate that. But just because humans are only starting to be able to, some humans are starting to be able to articulate that, doesn't mean it hasn't been true forever. It has been true. Okay. Ooh, I think we got this well, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Generational trauma, or
Uh-huh.
how would you call it?
Generational trauma. Yeah. Passed down through the generations. Mm-hmm.
That leads to all this.
All this situation. Yeah.
Mhm. Which then leads to her burning up here.
Yeah. I love that. The burnout and the burn up and the no, and there we are. And what's such a drag is that when all this is happening, we are getting awards for how much we help people, and we're getting praise for what a good job we're doing. We're
Mhm.
doing such a good job that we're killing ourselves, literally. It's a Honestly, it's a kind of passive suicide.
Oh, wow.
Eugh, that's a big term, I know, but it is. It's such a neglect of the self.
Can you say a
It's
little bit about what the big or the underlying reasons are that she is, because she's smart, right? How
Oh
come,
yeah, she's intellectually often quite smart.
why doesn't she help herself out of the situation?
Well, from all of these things, because it's well, I'll name the two boiled down.
Hmm.
Boiled down. Safety. It's not safe.
To,
She's learned that it's not safe. It wasn't safe for her mother. It wasn't safe for her mother's mother. Why on earth would it be safe for her now? So this was the experience that was sent down through the generations.
mhm,
So it's already there's this predisposition to believe that. And then the life experiences start showing us what we believe, because beliefs and experience are very circular. We cannot tell where they begin.
mhm,
Is it that something happens and then we believe it, or do we believe it and then it happens? Impossible to track where that is. But we filter for we filter for proof for what we believe. So that's the safety part. And then I've alluded to it in different ways, but I'm going to give it slightly different language. There is devotional suffering.
what's,
Devotional suffering.
mhm,
And what this means is, and this is really wild, this happens. We do not have to know the history of our family to suffer devotionally on their behalf. We don't even have to know it, because we literally know it in our DNA, in our bodies, in our bones. We know this. So let's say, for example, that my grandmother never got to be partnered with someone who really loved her. She ended up having to marry someone else because the family arranged it, or whatever happened. So my grandmother, who I love dearly, because we love everyone who came before us, whether we like their personality or we would like their personality, we love everyone who came before us. We love them massively and profoundly, to the point that we think that if I suffer in the same way, and this is not conscious cognitive thinking, this is all happening under the radar. We think if my grandmother, in this less than conscious way, if she didn't get to, wow, do you know, this one is actually one that I need to work with, because it's true. I'm thinking of my mother's mother. She never got to really be loved by partners in the way that she wished to, ever. There's a way I've been devotionally suffering that I've had the same experience. This is something I've worked on and I need to work on a little more
mhm,
is to revise this devotional suffering, because truthfully, it's not going to help her for me to suffer in the same way that she did. She's actually not alive anymore. It's not going to change anything for her. So it's this absolutely inappropriate way that I'm trying to say, I love you, Grandma, in a way that doesn't work or solve anything. But we humans are doing that. I just chose this one little expression of it. We are doing this all the time, everywhere. So it's safety, for reasons of safety and belonging, and then devotional suffering. These are the reasons that we stay in this very painful cycle. Oh, Ingrid, I'm giving you a lot of concept.
you do.
Safety and belonging. You could put next to safety,
Okay.
safety and belonging. This is so amazing to have it in art and words here on the page. It's amazing. I've never had this. This is an amazing process.
Wait, I have to make the arrow, oops, the
Of
arrow a
course.
little longer. The belonging doesn't fit. No, wait a second, I have to start again here with the safety. And I can imagine that the way to heal all this is not through intellectual knowing.
How did you guess? How did you guess? We can read a lot of books about it, and that's helpful.
And she probably did. Maybe we should put a few things here, what she has been doing, reading books.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean what books?
No, no, just she had what has
Oh,
she
she's
done?
read a lot of books. Yes, she's read a lot of books. And she's also done a good amount of talk therapy, specifically talking therapy. Yep. And she's also done, these are two big ones.
Mhm.
And this is where it's tricky because I want to name here, she's probably done a lot of yoga or, some kind of body expression that can. I don't want to diss yoga. If you take yoga and all the yogic principles and you really work on a profound level with other people and mentors and guides, you can go far. But if you're just going to yoga class kind of for the exercise of it, it won't take you it won't take you as far as you need to go to address all of this. So, and the same with talk therapy.
Mm.
It is helpful. It is helpful as a base. All of these are helpful as a base.
Mm.
Books and the talk therapy and the yoga and the meditation, you can add that in too. The yoga and the meditation, they're all helpful, but they're missing a certain piece. Probably going to go on to in the
Mhm.
middle
Yes.
box. Yeah.
So the next part we can do is should we do the end vision of what is she dreaming of and what is like the end
Oh,
state, and before we go to how you get her there.
sure. What do you think? Does that sound, because we've already
or,
started it a bit?
or what is maybe a step-by-step process is the first. Oh, I know we go like that. Now we first say, and then she meets you, and now you come into the place because she saw her website. So your website. So this gorgeous woman, the earring. Where's the earring? The earring is here.
uh,
Big smile, and maybe
and then
right now you
probably
don't wear feathers, but sometimes you do.
sometimes I do. I'm wearing my etheric feathers right now.
Yeah.
And probably something on the website sparked her interest, like the words, maybe words she'd never seen combined together, like soul retrieval performance art, or being seen into existence.
Hmm.
And then probably the words sparked her interest a bit, and some of the words were describing the state in the first picture that we made.
Hmm.
But what probably helps her understand in the way she needs to what this is, because she probably doesn't know, like, what even is this? What do you mean? Showgirl shaman, conscious burlesque, mystery school, Showgirl Awakening mystery school. What is all this? So what probably helps it land a little more than just reading it, and the reading it's helpful, but is she watches the 22-minute From the Inside Out short documentary,
Hmm.
which features 7 women who talk about their experience of doing Showgirl Awakening. And she hears them talk about, especially, how it was through becoming more vulnerable in a safe space that they began to experience their power. And in order to be vulnerable, they had to start to do the 4-letter F word. It's not that one, it's feel. They had to start feeling. So they're watching this little documentary about these women in From the Inside Out, where these women are actually saying, oh my gosh, this thing that we've all been protecting about, I'm not going to feel, I'm not going to feel, I'm not going to feel. It's through the feeling in the safe space and the coming into their bodies that they started to actually experience their power. And they experienced that they did not lose all the belonging they thought they would lose, because the belonging with themselves is so profound. Power through feeling and power through vulnerability. And I call this reveling in your body. There, there are these 3 pillars, these 3 R's. And these women in this little documentary are sharing how the first R, reveling in their bodies.
And
having
is this kind of the basis of your process?
it is the
Okay.
everything falls under, and you have these three boxes, so we can have one, reveling in your body. Yeah, that means actually stepping into a safe space that is being held by someone, and in this case I'm the one who's holding the space, but we're all really holding it together in the small circle. The truth is everyone is holding it. And
What
really,
what what should I have her wearing here? Like a
oh, what's
dress?
she wearing? She could be wearing really anything in this reveling in your body, in this
Okay.
step. Yeah, yeah. And these things that we're saying now, I started talking about them in relation to this documentary. But what might happen is someone might watch that documentary and go, oh, I want to have a little taste of this. I want to actually show up either live in a room, in a physical room, or live in a Zoom room and have a little experience. And so then they would say, okay, when is the next intro workshop? Which is called Being Seen on Your Own Terms. And they come there and they actually start to do these exercises, which I actually haven't described the main one. The main, it's not that it's an exercise, it's more of a stance, really.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I'm going to say it right now.
Yeah.
It's how we see each other. This is what makes the difference. This is the thing that is not happening in the yoga and meditation. And it might happen if the talk therapy has a big somatic element. I'm trying to define, I'm trying to defend therapy here because I want to make it clear that I do believe in therapy. And this adding extra somatic and embodiment work really helps take it all home. That's what I want to say. So, how do we see each other? How do we actually see each other? This is the heart. How we see each other. I'm going to say it in a very, very physical, clear way. When I give permission to a group of people to see me, I allow all eyes to fall onto me. And say, for example, I'm going to do a 30 or 40-second improvisation. As Ingrid, you experienced, yes?
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm giving permission to the group to witness me. I use this term on purpose, this verb on purpose, that the group gets to witness me for 30 to 40 seconds doing an improvisational solo. How is it that they're seeing me? And how is it that that helps me see myself, having them there? It's how we're witnessing each other. I'll say what it is not. I am not performing for them. Although it might look like I am. I'm not performing for them in the sense that I'm not choosing which movements do I think that they're going to like. I'm choosing the movements that make me feel more like myself. And the question, this is the big thing, the question that everyone in the room is asking themselves. This is the crux in the heart. I'm asking myself while I'm being witnessed, and they're asking themselves while they're witnessing me, is what does it feel like to be me while I'm being witnessed or while I'm witnessing? It's the same question for everyone in the room. What does it feel like to be me? Notice feeling, it means what are my sensations and my emotions while I'm being witnessed or while I'm doing the witnessing. It's not what do I think about this performance, this instance of witnessing a person. That we are heavily and completely trained. We're all well trained in telling what we think about something. Do we like it or not? Does it please us or not? These are not the questions we're asking.
Mm.
Even if we love what we saw, if I answer, oh, I really loved what you did, that's actually not incredibly helpful to me for me to see myself. Because even I liked it or I loved it is an evaluation.
Mm.
It's an assessment. It's a judgment, whether I liked it or didn't like it. And the juice that helps me see myself is when the people witnessing me are seeing themselves, feeling themselves while they witness me. And after we do this short improvisation, the person, in this case it would be me, who was seen for those 30 to 40 seconds, I speak first and I give language to how it felt to be me while I was being witnessed. I am naming my body sensations and my emotions. And then if I feel like it, and often we do, I invite the people who witnessed me to tell me, how did it feel to be them? And I hear their body sensations, which some might be like mine and some might be different. And I hear their emotions. And there is something about this experience that helps me see and feel myself more profoundly. It becomes okay, more than okay. It becomes welcome, even more than welcome. I experience myself as nourishment. Ooh, I actually literally just described the other two R's. They were all implicit in what I just said. The reveling in your body.
You can spell it out.
I'm going to. So revealing, R-E-V, this is the second R, R-E-V.
Yeah, reveal.
Oh, no, you did reveling. That's perfect. You did that. Oh, yeah.
The
And
next
you can
one
revealing. You can, revealing your radiant essence. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Revealing your radiant essence. Yeah.
Oh,
That's what happened in that little improv sharing. There was a revealing of the radiant essence, but what I went so far, we can come back to this because I want to say the third one, which is receiving. Receiving what you desire. And another way to say that is receiving what you have. I think I actually might change it from receiving what you desire to receiving what you have. Yeah, it's receiving what you have. Because through that little experience, I had more of myself. I got to, my language even, I noticed, I got to be nourished by myself.
How do we depict that?
I got to experiencing being nourished through having been seen. Yeah. But I don't know how to draw. It's the actually after the being seen that happens, really that picture is more connected to the second step. But the trick is they happen all at once. We tease them out to talk. Look at you, that's amazing. Yes, there's this nourishment that happens. There's this nourishment that happens, and it's happening so much. It's this give and take. It's we're getting equally nourished because the role of the witness is incredibly active. And what I call, when people say audiences, your normal audience is not nourishing in this way. Your normal audience, this is just how we've been taught to be audiences, is to share, notice what we like, and it's just not as nourishing as this really, when everyone in the room is on purpose witnessing themselves and noticing how they feel, it opens the door, and then following what they feel. So that, yeah, I don't know if I need to say more. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yes. Take. Woo! Yes.
We have still a whole picture to go, so we have to on your own terms, I write here.
Yeah, that's really key. It's on your own terms. On your own terms. So it's really, sometimes what happens in normal or standard performances, and this happens way too often, and it's very painful, is the person performing is taking all their cues from the audience on, oh, if the audience is liking it, I'm going to do more, without really checking with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Does this actually feel good to me? And in burlesque, which is one of the primary ways that I work, in burlesque, we are removing clothing along the course of the solo. This
Mm-hmm.
becomes very dangerous if you are only checking in with your audience. What do they want? Well, let's say that in your choreography, maybe you decided that when the horn makes a big toot 3/4 of the way into the song, that's when you're going to remove your bra. And let's say the audience is really, you can tell the audience really wants that too. It was your plan and the audience wants it. But if you don't feel completely alive and safe and radiant in your body, and like you want to consent at that time, in that moment, in that place, if you're really going to be doing conscious burlesque, you won't remove your bra then,
Mm-hmm.
even though it was your plan. And
Mm-hmm.
even though you know the audience wants it, if
Mm.
you're not home in your body, fully consenting, you will change your choreography in that moment.
Okay, let's now draw her in the
Okay.
state that she's dreaming of, and that
Okay.
she, like, the now she's gotten somewhere. Like the opposite. I just copied her over from.
Yeah. How do we draw the woman who is so embodied that
First of
she's
all, she's not sad
she's
anymore.
she's not set. No, she's radiating.
Radiating.
She's just radiating. Like you feel, you see, you feel her essence. Yeah, she might be in a victory V. Victory V is a, she might be in a victory V. Yeah. Which, when you do that, if you'll notice, it opens the heart. So her heart is opening. And I mean, the truth, she might also not feel wonderful in that moment, but she's giving space to herself. Yeah. She's giving space to herself to feel whatever she's feeling.
And if she feels like it, she wears. Now this is a like a costume thing, and
Yeah,
maybe
if she feels like it, she's wearing, yeah. Hmm.
like some jewelry, some kind
Yeah,
of. I mean, I want to make a contrast to the other
sure,
image.
sure. Yeah.
Maybe she has dreamt about it. I mean, not everybody, I understand, not everybody wants to.
No. So we can also maybe show another picture of her in another circumstance where,
Yeah.
but
And what,
I don't know how to draw that she's there. Whether she's happy or sad, honestly, it might be appropriate for her to be really angry. So it's not reveling in your body, this feeling aspect, it's any of your feelings are perfectly welcome. So this brilliant radio, and the truth is, I do believe that joy is fundamentally our true nature. But we get overlaid over joy is whatever feeling is appropriate in the moment. And if we can't have our anger, we can't make safety for ourselves. She looks a little scary.
oh, you wanted more feelings?
Yeah, let's have more feelings. Yeah. And maybe make her saying no. Like, no. She has access to her yes and her no. They're all perfectly valid options that she has equal access to. Yes, absolutely yes. And the truth is, I do believe that joy is our fundamental state, and it can coexist with any emotion. Uh-huh.
What kind of thing is she wearing here?
Well, it could be so many things.
I
What's
mean,
she?
maybe it's just a. I
A
mean,
skirt?
yeah,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. There it
some
is.
kind of fun skirt.
There
I
it
mean,
is.
they don't have to take their clothes off, but maybe they want to, or how?
Usually in a solo, usually something is removed, something is altered and changed, but it's not necessary. it's not necessary. You don't have to end with your breasts in pasties. You don't have to end in a thong or underwear. But usually the costume is used as
But showing her body is part of the process.
but it's not as important as showing her essence. So the amount of body that you show is completely up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But the sharing of your essence, that's what we're really going for. And if the showing of the body supports that, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't have to. Yeah, that's probably the best way to say it.
I mean,
But one
it's
thing,
also nice that on the left side, she has only one available expression. On the right side, she has more.
yeah. And there's almost a third of, ooh, she gets to express exactly how she prefers something. She gets to participate in a little of that. You know, it's almost like the three bears. Yeah, no, not this bed, it's too hard. No, not this bed, it's too soft. But oh, this one in the middle, exactly. So she gets to have her nuance. She gets to have her subtle preference, which, as a highly sensitive woman, has in her life has often bothered people that she has such a specific that she really knows when she's home, when she's here, she really knows what she wants. And it might be very, very specific. And she gets to have that specificity. Yeah. She gets to have her own specific and nuanced desires. Yeah.
Or yeah, of desires or
Preferences.
of preference, specificity.
All of that.
That's kind of abstract specificity of
I know, but how do we say?
nuance. I get to she gets to choose what to express, or gets to choose the nuance of.
And she gets to change. Yeah. It's both how and what she expresses and what she desires and how she fulfills those desires. And has to say, oh, yes, it's like that, but a little bit different. It's both her expression and her desires that get to have nuance and get to change.
Of desire or expression, nuance of the expression.
Well, it's both the nuance of the expression and the specificity of the desire. That's it.
Okay.
The nuance of the expression and the specificity of the desire. That's how the language all comes together. This is so cool, Ingrid. Wow. Wow.
I'm impressed how much thought and theory and depth there is to this process of Showgirl.
A lot. Yeah, because yeah.
And I know this is only like a facet of what you're doing. I know about also your archetypes and stuff, but we don't have space for that here now.
No, we don't have space for that, and it's implicit. It's implicit in different ways here. Yeah.
Can you say a little bit about just 2 points about your journey? What qualifies you for what, and we have already the empathy here. You're on the same path with them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've been doing this for 23 years now.
Oh. Dancing professionally or
dancing professionally for 26 years, but the healing work, the healing training that I've had, where are we? To 2023. Dun, 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 dun. So for the last 16 years, I've been trained. I'll just name a variety of modalities. Emotional freedom technique, EFT, transformational neurolinguistic programming. You could put NLP. I'm a family and systemic constellations facilitator.
Okay, I don't have space for that. We have it in the recording.
We'll have it on that. And we could just put
and much more.
and much more. Great. Okay.
But you can say it. We have it on the recording.
There it is. And resonance and empathy work.
Okay.
With Sarah Payton.
Uh-huh.
And even NARM, Neuro-Affective Relational Model. Lots and lots of education and training and certifications in specifically ways to help heal the shame of being who we are. Yeah? To heal the shame we've experienced just from being who we are, not from anything we did, just this healing this existential shame and transmuting it into a celebration that we are life itself.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
We are life itself. We matter because we are. Yeah. Yeah.
Have to.
We matter because we are. Our well-being is our greatest gift to the world. Our well-being is our greatest gift to the world. This is so fun.
I think I have to take this here.
Oh, I can't wait to share this. So excited.
What did you say about the gift? Can you say that about
our own well-being? Our well-being is our greatest gift to the world. Period. And of course, when we're in our well-being, we serve and we create and we express. But if we try to serve and create and express to gain the right to be a human, it gets all screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the order that makes sense for coming to life.
The sentence that you said in the beginning, which is like everything in one sentence, a woman who reveals her radiant essence and therefore shows the way for her fellow humans.
Yes.
It's also beautiful. I don't know how to put everything on the image here, but we have captured it in the recording.
Yeah. It's a small note difference, but it's and thereby shows the way for her fellow humans.
Oh yeah.
Tiny change. Yeah.
Okay.
Woo! That was so fun. Oh my gosh, Ingrid, I love it.
It didn't quite fit onto the rectangle.
That's okay with me. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't quite fit on the rectangle of my life.
Right. I think
it makes sense.
That's typical. It makes total sense.
I mean, we didn't have it here, but it will be in the recording that.
Yes.
You know, often the women who come to me, they feel like they are just too much.
Yeah.
And coming into this acceptance of the fullness of themselves and knowing that they couldn't possibly be too much is a big part of the healing.
Yeah. And it's only fitting that it's too much for the rectangle here.
Yes, that's it's very meta.
Yeah. Okay, I will add a shading and some pink glitter on it as promised.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
And I hope you can recognize your business here.
Very much
I mean, there are many words on it, although your business, or not your business, your work is not so much about words.
I know, isn't that funny? But
yeah. But it's also important to show that there's all the thoughts behind it, that it's not just moving in a pretty way or something like that.
Not at all. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was fun, and it's such great work you're doing, as I also experienced.
My heart is full. It's so fun to be in the space with you. It's so fun to see you and create with you.